Buddy, he was raised by a single mother, and we were teenagers, and right before we'd leave, she would be so nervous, and she'd say, "Don't get arrested, don't get in a car accident, please don't get in a fight." And we go out and get in a fight, get arrested, get in a car accident, you know. She was speaking death over us. She was speaking curses over us every time before we would walk out the door, you know. And I didn't understand that until way later in life. That, man, I'm the luckiest person I know. I never get in wrecks. I'm always safe. Everything is great. I never get a ticket. Right? Yeah. 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 Getting pulled over several times a week, yeah. Yeah. All right, guys. So if we can get started, we can have some more conversation during the message. There'll be time for conversation, of course, after. Hi, Kayla. How are you? Very tired. Super early on a Saturday for you. Awesome. You should be sleeping in. You sound like you're losing your voice or just getting it back. So we're still studying the Way of the Bodhisattva by Shantideva, and it's all about bodhicitta, right? Bodhicitta is loving kindness and compassion and taking care of other people, right? So we kind of got to keep moving forward if we want to get through the text. So about bodhicitta, and if you have any questions, stop me and let me know. If I'm using terms that you're not familiar with, just ask me, okay?
I'm sure a lot of that will come with time.
Yeah. Right. And if I can be any clearer, just stop me and let me know, okay? So Shantideva says in the next verse that we're studying, it says that even if the thought to relieve a living creature of merely a headache is beneficial, a beneficial intention that is endowed with infinite goodness. God, this translation is killing me, but I've looked at other translations, but the wording is kind of weird. I think it's like a word-by-word translation of the Sanskrit or whatever, and it's kind of hard, but what I've studied is this is one of the best English translations there is. So basically he's saying that even if the wish that somebody's headache goes away, if even that wish creates ultimate benefit for you and for them. So in Buddhism, we believe in merit or karma, creating good karma or whatever. So like if you tell me, man, I got a migraine today, I can't get rid of this headache. And this feeling of bodhicitta arises in me that says, it stirs up compassion. I'm like, man, I hope your headache goes away. I hope you feel better, man. That's empathy. Like I'm empathizing with you, right? So Shantideva says, just that empathy, that feeling is a rare experience in this world. This world is usually dog eat dog. I don't give a shit about you. Like I don't care about if you got a headache. I'm concerned about me. I'm happy I don't have a headache today. So just that feeling of bodhicitta that arises by you telling me that, it affects the entire world. Like it ripples through the whole world, that kindness, that generosity. And also, for me, Buddhists believe that if I generate good karma, that's going to affect my next life. So if I'm greedy and self-centered and I don't care about his headache, that's going to affect my next life. But if that compassion arises in me and I do care when somebody tells me something, that's like putting good karma in my account that affects my next life. Does that make sense? Okay. So he's saying that if just wishing that somebody's headache goes away is a tremendous rare event, then how about so much giving them an aspirin or a Tylenol? I do that all the time here at Clubhouse. I keep a little medicine thing in my lunchbox, and several times a week somebody's like, I got a headache, or oh man, my throat is sore or whatever. I say, in my lunchbox I got sinus medicine, I got Tylenol, I got Benadryl, I got whatever you need. I have a walk-in pharmacy in my lunchbox, right? So I'm always giving out pills, and I'm a pusher. I'm a drug pusher. Yeah. Are you sure you're not allergic to this? Are you sure whatever? But usually it's just like Benadryl or Tylenol or something. I don't have any prescription drugs or anything like that.
Well, Diane works at the pharmacy.
Right? She's a drug dealer. My wife, she works at a pharmacy. I always say my wife is a drug dealer because she works at a pharmacy, right? Yeah. So if wishing that somebody's headache goes away is a rare event, then giving somebody a Tylenol is revolutionary. It's like, oh my God. Like, oh my God, you cared enough to give this person a Tylenol in this dog-eat-dog dark world that we live in, where most people would just step over a homeless person or just walk past somebody in pain. That's what Shantideva is saying, right? So kind of my topic in the first part of this thing is like, how long do you think that we've been a selfish species? Because, and the way this came up is this text was written in 700 AD, okay? So Shantideva is saying 700 years after Christ, right, according to the Christian calendar. We're going by the Christian calendar in the West or whatever. But in 700 AD, which is a long time ago, Shantideva is saying people are jerks, people are a-holes, right? They don't care if you got a headache or not, right? So then I started thinking about Buddha during Buddha's time. So Buddha was 500 years BC. So that's 500 years before the birth of Jesus, right? I'm not real good with all this stuff, time, but I'm just trying to say that. So even in Buddha's time, Buddha, one of his messages, we should be more kind to each other. We should love each other. Why are there all these wars? Why are there people raping women? Why are they cutting down trees? Why are they being jerks? So that's 500 years before the birth of Christ, right? And so on the way home the other day, I was listening to an audiobook, and it was the Epic of Gilgamesh. And the Epic of Gilgamesh is supposed to be the world's oldest story. Have you heard of it? And so I wrote down a few facts about the audiobook I was listening to. So they say the Epic of Gilgamesh is an epic poem from Mesopotamia. It was written in the Sumerian language. It was written in an archaic language, and they actually get the word archaic from the word Akkadian, which is the language that it was written in, which is a dead language now. It doesn't even exist anymore. They had to find somebody to translate these clay tablets, right? And it says in the Epic of Gilgamesh, it's all about war, killing, egotism, raping women, drinking, cutting down trees, and like the people trying to elbow each other for power or leadership, or and so it says that this poem was thought to be written in 2100 BC. So 2100 years before the birth of Christ, the world's oldest form of literature, the world's oldest story is about war and death and cutting down trees and mistreating women. So I'm saying, over and over in Buddhism, they're telling us that the key to turning all this around is this bodhicitta, this loving each other, caring for each other, caring about our planet, caring about the trees and stuff like that. And so that makes me wonder, how long has this been going back? We know it goes back 2100 BC. Like, this is like in our DNA, I guess, as a species, to not care about each other or to mistreat each other to get to fill our needs. And so that's kind of the conversation I wanted to have a little bit before we do our meditation. Does any of this kind of like ring a bell with you, or?
If you go from a Christian aspect,
okay,
it happens as soon as they ate from the apple, the tree of knowledge.
Okay.
And as soon as original sin, then they lost that way. And they honestly, the way I think of it, because I don't think it's incompatible with evolution. I think it's like, for God's creation of humanity, it reset everything and start maybe in that single cell. And you have to grow and learn everything, and you start as an animal and slowly regain your consciousness, slowly gain your connection to divinity. And so I think since the beginning, so in a sense, as soon as the apple, as soon as original sin, and since the beginning of creation.
So you're saying in the Garden of Eden, the original sin, that original sin of like disobeying God, that has because we ate of the apple, that's been in our DNA this whole time. That's why it's like that. Okay.
That's an interesting.
Also, isn't the Christian belief, I could be wrong, but that God's punishment was impregnating the woman who ate the apple, and so like childbirth itself is a sin, in a sense.
I think that's a little bit misinterpretation. It's mainly the fact, it's not that childbirth is a sin, it's the pain that they have to go through, like the burden it is. That's
Okay.
that's the punishment.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
See,
I think I'm still learning a lot.
Right.
I'm on the flip side of things.
No, conversation's good.
love conversation.
Definitely. I'm sorry.
I'm on the flip side where I